Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we're being joined by Dr. Pele, author of Profitable Happiness. Dr. Pele, welcome to the show.
I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
I am ready to begin.
All right. Question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Well, I would say, first of all, find out your why. Why are you writing this book? What did the universe create that you must complete? What is your purpose for this book? Because you are the only one who can answer that question, and it has to be truthful. A lot of people write books with the end of maybe a financial reward in mind or some other kind of an outcome. But the truth is, a book is a very special thing that you're speaking from your heart. So find out why you're writing the book, and then let everything else flow from there.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Well, I think it's a question of whether you're going to publish yourself, or you're going to use a boutique publisher, or you're going to try to get published by a major house. If you're trying to get published by a major house, good luck. That is the hardest part. Because in my experience, you have to have some kind of notoriety or a brand name out there already that the publishing house can leverage. But if you're going to just publish boutique, pay someone to do the publishing, there's an expense to that. So if you have that kind of income or money, go for it. It can run up to $100,000 or more. My preferred method is just publish yourself using Amazon and its tools, and you can do that for a very, 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 very manageable amount of money.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Okay, so first of all, Paul, thank you for introducing me regarding Profitable Happiness. That is actually my brand. My current book, I've written 6 books. My current book is called The 7 Songs of a Successful Team. And the book I am currently writing, I'm actually writing my 7th book right now, is called Profitable Happiness. So it's not quite out there. But as far as marketing, I see the book as the beginning content piece for all of your marketing. So I'm sure your audience has heard a lot about the idea of content marketing. Everybody talks about posting on YouTube or posting on Facebook and doing a lot of content marketing, and everyone hates it. Well, your book is the perfect source of that content marketing. And I know some people are going to say, hey, wait a second, why write a whole book if I'm just going to share that with the whole world, and then they're not going to want to buy it? Hello, they're going to want to buy it. But you must share everything you know. You must hold nothing back in your content marketing. So your book becomes the source, social media becomes the outlet, and then you need something else that is sort of the recurring thing that keeps people interested. For me, it's a podcast. So I have a Profitable Happiness podcast. For you, it may be a blog. It could be something else. But that's your marketing strategy. The book is the content piece of the marketing. Your social media outlets, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, or wherever your customers are, that's your social outlet. And then the last piece is something that's recurring that people will always come back to. For me, it's a podcast.
Got it. And so in regards to someone just starting out, so they're hearing the words content marketing, and then you've kind of talked about this path, but tell us exactly how you started with your first book, and what are the things that you did to build to this point? Because obviously you didn't start a podcast immediately. So what are the things that you did to start out and then to build up to get to that point?
Well, the first thing I did, I guess if you really want to go way back, is I got a PhD. I got a PhD in organization and management. I became a vice president of human resources, later of marketing at Dale Carnegie Training. So bottom line is I did a lot of things in my life and developed a whole bunch of expertise. But I realized that if I wanted to be a creative entrepreneur, which is what I am now, I was going to have to bottle this up into something. And there's nothing better than to bottle up your knowledge and your experience in a book that will be the attraction or content piece for your ultimate market. And so I wrote books. I started writing books because it's kind of like, I don't want to throw religion in here, but if you think of the Bible is a book. People read books, and there's a sense of authority and respect that comes with the written word. So if you can capture your experience and your life success and whatever you're teaching into a book, you now have that powerful golden thing that you can give to people, either as an introductory business card or as a training tool or as content for your marketing going forward.
Well, I think you just mentioned the number one best-selling book of all time as well.
Yeah, Bible.
Absolutely. So it's a great example. So speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Currently, I don't know, your audience, oh my gosh, this is tough. Currently, I'd have to say my favorite book is something called, I got to see if I can look at it here. It's the Seat of the Soul. I think that's what it's called by, gosh, my mind is totally gone, but it's called The Seat of the Soul. That would be my favorite book that your audience may connect with. Now, the reason I say that is because my all-time favorite book is actually an African author whose name is Chinua Achebe, and he wrote a book called Things Fall Apart. I don't know that your audience would know that book, so I give you those two choices. What I like the best about The Seat of the Soul is that it helped to teach me something. It really made something concrete I'd always suspected, which is we human beings have these five senses, but in fact, there are senses outside of our realm, the things we can't see. And it's really folly for any of us to think that the only things that exist in this lifetime are the things that we can actually see and touch and feel and eat and so on and so forth. And so there's a level of wisdom that comes with recognizing that we have a soul. Not being religious about anything, I'm just saying that there's certainly more than what we see. And so that book did that for me. I can't get that out of my head. Things Fall Apart is the ultimate book I believe that anyone worldwide should read. It tells the story of the African man who refused to let go of his culture when it was being colonized by others. I'm an African man, although I've lived in the United States all my life, but I really, really connect with the idea of standing firm with the things you believe and the culture that you hold dear, and don't let people change you by offering you money and things like that. So Things Fall Apart, huge book that explains who Africans truly are on the world stage.
Well, you've piqued my curiosity. I think I'm going to go on Amazon and grab that book later. I think that's some great recommendations, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Wow, you really bring these great questions, Paul. I appreciate it. My favorite quote is the one that hangs on my wall right now, and it was my father's favorite quote. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. That quote has literally driven my life. I am now finally in a place where I'm doing the things that I can truly do that inspire other people. I call it a place of profitable happiness. It's a place where you're in control. It's the thing that makes you happy. I'm a musician, lifelong writer, author, musician. And when I finally brought my music and my writing into the thing I do as a creative entrepreneur, my life became as perfect as a life can be. And I want to challenge anyone to recognize how to get rid of the things you cannot control. Focus on the things that make you happy, and then from there comes your profitable happiness.
Dr. Pele, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Best way to find me is to go to drpele.com, drpele.com. If you go to profitablehappiness.com, it'll take you there as well. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Everything is Dr. Pele or Dr. Pele Raymond.
Thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate it.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.